But just make this note, all of us, have self-interest. The key is for it to be enlightened so that everybody wins and no one loses. Our first interest is to survive. What does it take to survive? Our second interest is to succeed. What does it take to succeed? What does it take for me personally to survive and to succeed? Can I legitimately be interested enough in the things that help me both succeed and survive? And here's what I discovered. The answer is yes. It's possible to exercise self-interest, but to do it in such a way that no one loses, everyone benefits. Life was not designed to give us what we need. Life was designed to give us what we deserve. Interesting Bible phrase that says, if you keep knocking, you'll find open doors. Good phrase to jot down. If you keep knocking, you'll find open doors. Doors of opportunity. Doors of a chance to meet someone. Doors open for association. Doors open to find someone special. Doors open to find a unique business colleague. If you keep knocking, the phrase says, doors of opportunity are open to those who continually knock. Receiving is reserved for those who give. Receiving is not reserved for those who need it. It's reserved for those who deserve it.
Your kind of laziness is to be busy all the time. But I think it's wonderful to be motivated, to have whatever that is in us that is some kind of a response to life to fulfill some kind of a need. How do we motivate ourselves positively? We know the negative motivations. We've seen those things. They're usually involved in avoidance and fear and that kind of stuff. But how do we motivate ourselves positively? Well, I think positive self-motivation begins with a transformation of our attitude or a change of our attitude. And our attitude is a combination of various elements. It's what we think, what we feel, what we do, how we behave, how these all come together to give us an attitude that allows us to be clearly focused on something important in our life and then to apply that. But in being motivated to do something, we need to be convinced, I think, that the benefits that are going to come as a result of what it is we want to experience far outweigh the price that we're going to pay for it. That when we start classifying things as good or bad, oftentimes this causes us to avoid whatever the issue is about which we're making that judgment. You see, if we look at something, say, in ourselves as this is bad, then what we've done is we don't want to associate with that is bad. And so it's like we encapsulate it over here and it doesn't get dealt with. If we just change the terminology that we use to examine whatever the incidents are in our life, like, for instance, the terms I used last week, stop looking at things as good and bad, and think of useful and non-useful. That which adds value and that which maybe doesn't or extracts value. Do you see the difference there? Because to think in terms of useful or non-useful does not have a moral connotation associated with it, where bad or good does. You are morally okay. You are not morally okay. That creates such a separation. But this is useful and this is not useful. Now this allows us to look at what's going on. And what you do, what you observe may be faulty. Maybe all kinds of mistakes that are involved in this. But there's the realization also that I, as a person, am okay. So I made a mistake. So what? And as you begin to understand this, you can extend that same kind of consideration to other people. And it becomes so much easier to be able to evaluate situations clearly and look at the positive and the negative of it from a standpoint of not good or bad, but what is useful and what is not useful, what adds value, what doesn't add value. And out of that comes a kind of self-motivation, that something that gets you to move toward that which it is you want to experience in your life. And the reason that it leads to this kind of self-motivation is that shorn of the judgments that we so often carry with us, we begin to see that there's meaning and purpose in virtually everything that we do. And that gives you focus. One of my favorite 5-letter words, focus.